What's up, everybody? It's your favorite music teacher, Mr. Ridley, and I'm so excited to be able to learn with you guys today. All right, so before we actually begin the lesson, I'm going to let you know that there's going to be a lot of videos I'm going to ask for you to watch. All right, but what you're not going to do is close this video. So you want to make sure you keep this video up, and then you're going to watch the other videos as I ask you to. All right, so I want to see who is paying attention. So you're going to pause this video when I say go, and I'm going to let you guys do 2 Just Dance songs. All right, so you're going to keep this video up. Go look at these 2 Just Dance songs and then come back to this one. Ready? Go. Moving on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So what I want to talk to you about today is something called a rhythm. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. But before we talk about a rhythm, I just want to remind you something that we talked about before that, and that was a steady beat. Remember, a steady beat stays the same in music. So if I was to clap the steady beat in a song, it would be... So let's see if I want to do Old Town Road. The steady beat would be... I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride until I can't no more. That's the steady beat. It stayed the same. If I wanted to clap the rhythm, which is what we're talking about today, it's the actual words to the song. So it goes, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride until I can't no more. You see how I clapped with every single word that I was saying? That's the rhythm to the song, okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video and I want you to look at another video called The Music Show, and I think they do a really good job of explaining what a rhythm is, all right? So pause this video and then you're gonna go and watch that one. Ready? Go. All right, so now that you watched the video, you can see that they use a whole bunch of different notes. They use a note called a quarter note. They had a note in there called a half note, a whole note, and an eighth note, and each one of those were different. And all those different notes help create different songs. But there's instruments that do a really good job of showing you what a rhythm is. And do you know what those instruments are? Those instruments are called percussion instruments. So what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of percussion instruments, and then I'm going to actually show you some videos of other people who are playing the percussion instruments. Because what I want to tell you is Mr. Ridley is a musician. I play a lot of instruments, but the percussion instruments aren't my best instruments. So what I really want to do is I want to show you those instruments, but then I want to show you professionals who are really good at those instruments, okay? So the first instrument I want to show you is an instrument called the snare drum. Now, this snare drum actually belonged to my brother because he used to play it in middle school. Now, a snare drum looks just like this. It has a metal side and it has a plastic head. It looks like that because that's where it's been hit a lot with the drumstick, and I'll show you that in a minute. So when you play a snare drum, you're always going to hit the head, or you're going to be able to hit the rim of the instrument as well, all right? So I'm going to show you just how the instrument sounds, and then I'm going to let you see a professional actually play the instrument, okay? So I'm going to put this in my lap. Do know that when you have a snare drum, it actually goes on a stand and not necessarily on your lap. It can either go on a stand or you can get a holder to where you can hold it up, all right? But I'm just going to play right here in my lap so you guys can kind of see it, okay? Now, I don't play the snare drum with my hands. You don't do that, right? You play with something called drumsticks. Now, these drumsticks are made out of wood. And you're going to see a couple other sticks that are made out of wood, but don't exactly look the same. They're going to look a little different. Okay? So this is how the snare drum sounds. That's the snare drum, all right? So you can see that the snare drum was actually kind of loud, right? But if you're at home and you're playing and it's too loud for the people around you, you can get these little things called practice pads. So you can be practicing at home, because as a musician, you got to be able to practice. That's how you become better. So the practice pad, just like the snare drum, I can play just like this. Just like that, but it sounds a lot quieter, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video, and like I said, I want you to see a professional who can play a lot better than Mr. Ridley, okay? So when I say go, you're gonna go look at that professional snare drum player, and then you're gonna come back to this video. Ready? Go. All right, so you've seen that. That was really, really cool, right? It was Old Town Road. I don't know. I just really like that song. I think it's really cool that he did a really good job playing the snare drum to that song. And you can see that when he was playing the snare drum, he was playing different rhythms. It didn't stay the same. So that's how we know it's a rhythm and not a steady beat, all right? So the next instrument I want to show you is something called the hand drum. Now the hand drum is very similar to the snare drum, except it doesn't have that big bass that the snare drum has. It doesn't have the extraness. It just has this little part right here. Now most drum instruments, I didn't say this with the snare drum, but most drum instruments are actually made or used to be made out of an animal skin. I know it sounds kind of nasty and kind of weird, but a long time ago they used to use every part of the animal. And the leftover skin was used to make instruments. So this one isn't made out of animal skin, so I don't want you to be like, ooh, Mr. Ridley's playing with an animal skin instrument. No, that's not the case. This one is actually made out of plastic, and it looks like it's made out of animal skin, but old drums used to be made out of animal skin, all right? So with the hand drum, you can play it with your hand. Just like that. You can hear how different the drum sounds compared to the snare drum. But if I wanted to play the hand drum, I wouldn't play it with the drumstick. I would play it with a mallet. Now you can see the mallet is not made out of wood like the drumstick is. It's made out of plastic. And it has a rubber tip to where it makes the hand drums sound a little different, okay? So listen to it. You hear how much louder that was using the mallet? All right, so that was the hand drum. I want to show you one other instrument. Or really, it's more like a practice pad. So this is a practice pad, just like the practice pad for the snare drum, for a drum that's called the tenor drum. Now, as you see, there are a whole bunch of different spots that you can hit right there. And that's because the tenor drum has all those different drums connected to it. So let's count it. How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are actually just one connected one. So there's 6 different drums that are connected to it. So you have to be able to hold it and play like this. All right? And you're gonna play with the drumsticks just like you did with the snare drum, okay? So I'm gonna play it a little bit so you can kind of hear it, but again, this is a practice pad, so you're not gonna be able to really, really hear it, all right? So I'm gonna play a little bit. So that's the practice pad of the tenor drum. Now, of course, like I said, Mr. Ridley wants you to be able to see a professional play the tenor drum. So when I say go, you're gonna pause this video, and I want you to see a professional tenor drum play the tenor drum, all right? Ready, go. All right, now, that was much better than what Mr. Ridley could do, right? So the next thing I actually want to talk about is how your body can actually be a rhythm instrument as well. It's a percussion instrument as well, and that's something that we call percussion, body percussion. So examples of that are you hitting your body makes different sounds. Right here, I'm making rhythms. So how you use your body and the sounds they make can be body percussion, all right? And of course, Mr. really wants you to see some really good examples of body percussion, all right? So I want you to pause this video and I want you to see a show called The Percussion Show with a professional percussionists who use their bodies to create songs, all right? So when I say go, you're gonna pause this one and look at that one. Ready? Go. All right, now that was really, really cool, right? And again, I really wish Mr. Really could do all that really cool stuff, but it's really cool to show you that your body can be a percussion instrument. And percussion instruments are really good at showing rhythms, right? Now, I want us to do 2 songs together, all right? So these next 2 videos are gonna be some really cool songs, and I think they're gonna be songs that you may know, but we're gonna be creating body percussion with the songs. So they may ask you to pat your lap, they may ask you to clap, they may ask you to stomp your feet. They may ask you to snap your fingers. And if you can't snap your fingers, I want to let you know it's totally okay. If you do this, it still looks like you're snapping, right? So what you're gonna do is when you're watching these videos, you're gonna follow along to what they ask you to do with the video, okay? I don't necessarily want to do it in this video because you can't see the video as we're doing it, as I'm doing it. So it's better to watch those videos and do it with them, okay? So they may ask you to pat your lap, they may ask you to clap, they may ask you to snap your fingers, they may ask you to stomp, all right? But you're gonna do it with the song, all right? The first one is High Hopes, and I really, really like that song, okay? So when I say go, you're gonna go and watch the High Hopes video. Ready? Go. All right. I absolutely love that song. I think it's so cool that you can see the body percussion and how your body adds the sounds or the rhythms to the song. All right. Now the next one that I want you to see is a song called Dance Monkey, and I really, really like this song. All right. So you're gonna go and do this one to see which one you like better. All right. Ready? Go. All right. Which song did you like better? Do you like Dance Monkey better or do you like High Hopes better? Honestly, I think I like Dance Monkey a little bit better. It's a little bit more fun to do, all right? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is we've already talked about what a rhythm is. We've seen some percussion instruments that are really good at showing what a rhythm is. We've also shown that our body is really good at becoming a percussion instrument as well. But really, any instrument or any item that creates sound can become a percussion instrument. So this last video I want you to see is by a group called Stomp. And what they're going to do is they're going to use everyday household items and they're going to be creating different rhythms to create a song. And it's really cool because they're going to be hanging up from like a ceiling or a raft. I don't really know what it's called, but they're going to be hanging up from something. It kind of looks like Spider-Man, and they're playing a whole bunch of different things, and it's really, really cool. All right. So I want you to pause this video. When I say go, you're going to go look at the Stomp video. Ready? Go. All right, so that was really cool, right? You got to see how they were playing all these different items, but it still created sounds to help them create the different rhythms, right? All right, guys. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Was to show you about what a rhythm is and how different instruments help create those sounds and how your body can also create those different sounds, okay? So until next week, be safe, all right? Bye.